Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Emma. I'm so happy you're here. I am an herbalist, gardener, creative, and this is my first YouTube video. So come along with me as I show you my edible and medicinal garden. So this section is the annual beds, and right as you walk in, you have my pumpkin bed. And I'm really excited because the pumpkins are looking better than they've ever looked. I've been coming out here every single night and pulling off squash bugs. So I've gotten ahead of them, and these plants have just been able to take off. So there's actually 8 pumpkin plants in here, which is probably too many for a 4x8 bed, but I figure they'll just sort of vine up onto this fence. Please excuse my dogs. They have the zoomies right now, and I need to feed them. Anyway, yeah, I'm really excited about how these pumpkins are looking. Over here, I just have some calendula and chamomile, which I need to harvest. I've been harvesting it every single night, and that just encourages it to flower more. And then up here we have some fennel, some volunteer fennel that just kind of popped up from in between the bed and the pathway. Just letting it do its thing because I like to harvest the seed heads off the fennel. They're really good for tea. They're an antispasmodic, so they can be really helpful for cramping and the digestion. And it's funny, I realized that this little bed kind of turned into like a gut healing, wound healing bed because we have plantain in the middle, even though it's been completely destroyed by earwigs. And then we have our chamomile and our calendula, and those are all very powerful gut healing herbs. So it kind of gave me an idea to like theme each bed based on the actions of the plant. Maybe I'll do that in the future. So here we have a tomato bed, and I love these indeterminate dwarf tomatoes. Shout out to Meg Grows Plants for turning me on to these. They are my favorite. I love tomatoes. I don't love growing tomatoes. I just hate like that sticky tar that they leave on your fingers when you're pruning them. And they can just get really unruly, especially the determinate types. So I love how these guys stay compact, and they do really well in my high desert climate. And yeah, I just love the flavor of them, and I love how compact they are. So in between the tomatoes, we have basil, and I threw in some dill and some calendula as well. Hi, Pearl. And this is Pearl. She is the garden kitty. She takes care of all the critters around here. Huh, Perry? Moving on to this bed, we have mainly corn with flowers around the edges. So we have some snapdragon in the back, linaria, which is the small pink flowers, California poppy, there's some borage in there, sweet alyssum, and then the corn's getting pretty tall, looking pretty good. I did seed some beans in there a few days ago, so those are just starting to come up. And then we have our strawberry blonde sunflowers in the back. I think that's what they're called. And then we got some volunteer parsley, which I'm excited about because I forgot to plant that. And just some more violas, linaria, snapdragons on this side. I really love to interplant my beds with flowers because, for one, it just is beautiful, and for two, it brings in a lot of the pollinators. It just adds to the biodiversity of the garden. Down here we have a volunteer borage, and that is really taking off, and the bees love it, so we leave it. Here we have our potato bed. Potatoes are getting to be almost ready to harvest. I planted Yukon Gold and All Blue, so we'll see how those turn out. And I think I did plant beans along the edges a few days ago, so we'll see if those even come up. Here we have, believe it or not, this began as just an onion bed. So we have our onions down here, and you can see that the tops are folding over, so I'm gonna be ready to harvest soon. I have whites, I have reds, and there's yellows in there, but can't see them because of this calendula that is all volunteer calendula from when I had it last year, and I need to go through and harvest this. I've already harvested this like 4 times already, believe it or not. The more you harvest, the more it will bloom. So this calendula is going to last me all year, and I'll be able to dry some and save some for the apothecary as well. So the calendula is very prolific. And then over here we have our compost beds and bins, I should say. And they are looking really good. They got up to 140 the other day. I think we're at 115 right now, so probably getting ready to give them a turn soon. Some volunteer sunflowers. Please excuse Jasmine, the chicken, in the background. Over here we just have some more tomatoes, some tomatillos, some more calendula, and some lemon basil. And then over here we've got some squash growing up this tunnel, and we've got some cucumber growing up this tunnel. So this is the honey nut squash. It's a little bit more resistant to the squash bugs, and also squash vine borer, although I don't really deal with that here. And then I believe this is the diva cucumber. It's the type that only puts out female flowers. So we have a lot of little baby fruits on here, but nothing ready to harvest yet, but soon. Just threw in some more borage over here. And then we have our regal paste, which is a indeterminate paste tomato. Those seeds are from Fedco. I've had good success with them. This was our garlic bed I just harvested a couple weeks ago. So I put in some leftover peppers that aren't looking too happy right now, so hopefully they perk up soon. I put in some beans, so those are coming up, some cranberry bush beans, and a couple fennels, a couple loofahs, just random extra stuff that I had growing from the hoop house. And I should say that this entire garden was grown from seed. Probably 99% of this garden was grown from seed. We've got some wine barrel planters, mint, volunteer sunflowers, and strawberries, and a blueberry in the center. Hi, Jasmine. Over here we have our chicken run. So we added 7 girls to our flock this year. We had 3 adults remaining from our previous flock, so we decided it was time to get some more chickens. So we got 2 Americanas, 2 Olive Eggers, 2 Mocha Morans, and a Buff Brahma. And then there's some nasturtiums, clematis that will grow onto the run. So that's the annual garden. Hi, Barry. So that's the annual garden, but I want to show you the in-ground space, which is where I have all of my perennial herbs and flowers, mainly medicinals, in this space. And the way I designed it was I sort of broke it into 4 quadrants. So right as you walk in, this is the first quadrant, and it's the water garden. So you can see we have marshmallow, some comfrey. This passion flower I did not plant, although it came up and it's growing along the fence, so I'll allow it. It's pretty much taking over, but I just pull it wherever I don't want it. And so yeah, there's 4 quadrants in this garden. There's the water quadrant, the fire quadrant back there, the air quadrant, and then the earth quadrant. So in the water quadrant, we have marshmallow, comfrey here. There's lemon balm. I just harvested this a couple weeks ago, so we'll give it another haircut soon. We've got some St. John's wort there and some yarrow in the back. And then you can see along the fence is passion flower. There is some mint growing, and I'm sort of just letting it go. It's not really taking over. It's got some competition with this passion flower. I've got a peony that I need to plant in the ground here. And then this is all showy evening primrose, which has spread. So I'll probably need to pull this up because there was a pathway. So over here we have the earth garden, and this is sort of a work in progress. So I have some nettles here, and I planted some more nettles in this little patch. So we'll have a patch of nettles. We have some rhubarb here, and I use the root of the rhubarb to make a digestive preparation called neutralizing cordial. And the root of rhubarb is specifically used for a gentle laxative in the formula. So this is a formula from the physiomedicalist herbalist William Cook, and the formula is useful for all kinds of digestive complaints. So you do larger doses for a laxative effect, smaller doses for heartburn and indigestion, things like that. So yeah, I usually will dig this up in the fall for the roots. Same with lovage, I grow it for the roots. It's similar to like Angelica. It grows really, really tall, and I just cut it back so that the sprinkler would be able to get to the new stuff I planted back there. And then I put in 2 stackies or wood betony, and those are some of my favorite herbs, and the bees love them too. Sort of a lesser known one, less popular one these days, but really, really an amazing plant to get to know. So beyond the first layer is some valerian. So I just planted out all these valerian, and then I did elecampane along the fence. So my thought for the earth garden was to put things in here that are associated with the body, digestion. Most of these things are roots that I dig up and harvest, although I usually will not harvest roots of a plant until it's been established for at least 3 years. So like that marshmallow patch that I showed you, I just planted that in the fall, so I won't be harvesting that this year or even next year. However, I have a different marshmallow patch that's been going for over 3 years now that I'll be able to harvest from. So I really like to sort of let the plants be plants before I ever even think about harvesting them as medicine. Even though I'm cultivating them, a lot of the type of herbalism that I do is about forming a relationship with the plant, specifically a reciprocal relationship, and just letting the plants be plants before we try to use them or even work with them, I should say. So that's a little bit about my process and how I work with herbs. But yes, I am hopeful for how this little section is going to grow in the next few years. I also have a choke cherry tree there that has been planted there for like 3 years. It's still, you know, barely 2 feet tall. So it's growing very slowly, but I think eventually the space will be transformed. So this is the air section. And in this section, I wanted to focus on nervines, pollinator plants, things that help calm the mind. So we have stackies here, of course, also known as wood betony. We've got another one down there that I planted, and the bees just love this. We've got some catnip here, lavender, elder in the back, and then another lemon balm that I harvested a few weeks ago. Thyme that's going to flower. The bees also love this. A few echinacea that are popping through. And we have hyssop, Anise hyssop. And then there's some motherwort back there as well. I love how this little pollinator space has turned out. And the center is just yarrow and the evening showy primrose. Kind of just letting it do its thing here in the middle. It's sort of like it really is like a centering, grounding herb. I mean, yarrow is just so useful for so many different things, and it's kind of like it's like a master herb in a way. It's like one of the herbs that you would choose if you could only choose like 10 herbs to work with. So I like that it's grounding this space in the middle. Over here, we have the fire garden. So this space is sort of doing its own thing. I've planted a lot of things here, and I kind of just come in and pull what is taking over. I let things work themselves out for the most part. So we have a nice big garden sage here, enough sage to last a lifetime, likely. But this is really good medicine to dry and use for tea or for cooking. Here we have Plersie root, butterfly weed, and I wanted to put this here because the orange flowers and it's the fire garden. We have spicy oregano here in the front, some Gaillardia, which is a native wildflower, yerba manza behind it. Let's go over here. So yerba manza, some more sage, and then this is bee balm or Monarda. I believe it's Monarda punctuata, the spotted bee balm. So beautiful. Looks like little fairy crowns. And of course we have a little bee covered in pollen, getting some of that nectar. And then back here, we have goji berry. So thank you for coming along to see my garden. This has really been a labor of love for me for the past 7 years since we've been here. When we first moved into this place, there was nothing back here. I've pretty much built this all from the ground up, mainly by myself. And like I said, like 99% of this is all grown from seed by hand. So this really is my special oasis, and I'm honestly really excited to be showing you guys um, and sharing it with the world because I want to inspire others to create gardens and to create beautiful spaces. I was just thinking the other day how I want the earth to be covered in gardens. So this is the start of my mission